All right, everybody, we're going to try something a little different here. We've got a mystery album underneath this cloth. It's right there. You can kind of see the form of it. And I'm going to give a little quiz and see if anybody can identify this mystery group and or mystery album. I will give you a little hint and say that it was a classic rock group, sort of. It was very much a part of the classic rock period. Very much in the classic rock wheelhouse, but I wouldn't necessarily say they were a classic rock band per se. But I'll give a little quiz, and we'll see how many questions you can get right. This might be a quiz that if you get everything right, I don't know if you'll want to tell anybody or not. Maybe you're like me, you want to keep it to yourself. If you can quote extensively from this mystery group, it may or may not be something you would like to share with polite society. But anyway, I'll give the questions here. Question number 1, please complete this phrase. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Dave? Okay, that was it. I'll do it again. Question number 1. Dave? Is Dave there? All right. That was question number 1. All right, question number 2. Please complete this little phrase. Hey, what you watching, man? I don't know, it's some movie about Indians, man, but it's really boring. That's not a movie about Indians, man. That's a blank. Fill in that blank. I'll say it again. What you watching, man? I don't know, it's some movie about Indians, man, but it's really boring. Hey, that's not a movie about Indians, man. That's a fill in the blank. Fill in the blank there. How about this one? Sign the papers, old man. But I cannot sign the papers. But you must sign the papers. But I cannot sign the papers. And why cannot you sign the papers, old man? I cannot sign the papers because blank. Fill in that sentence. How about this one? Hey, Ralph, what's that? All right. Look like. Please don't write the answer to that literally in my comments. Hey, Ralph, what's that? I don't know. Look like. Smell like. Feel like. Hey, Ralph. You might be guessing it now. If you had an ill-begotten youth back in the day, you might be getting all these right. How about this one? All-time classic. How am I driving, man? I think you're fill in the blank. How am I driving, man? I think you're fill in the blank. How about this one? Class? 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 All right. What does she say next? How about this one? Are we on number 7 or 8? That's great, Bob. And Bob, what grade are you in? I'm in 7th grade, man. That's great, Bob. And how old are you, Bob? 36. Oh, I just blew it. Number 8. There's a police officer always harassing and trying to bust our hapless friends, and his name was A, Dirty Harry, B, Andy Taylor, C, Columbo, or 4, Sergeant Stadenko. Please answer that question. And we could go on. Maybe if you're like me, you can quote more of those albums than I can. But let's unveil the mystery album, Sergeant Stadenko. So let's see here what album we've got. Uh-oh. I don't even know if I want to show this. I wasn't sure I wanted to make this video. Yes, everybody, we are talking about none other than Cheech and Chong, and I'm hesitant to even show the whole album. I feel it's an album that would not be produced in the same way. And what I remember is this stuff was on AM radio in 1973, like that Sister Mary Elephant, Sergeant Stadenko jokes, a lot of that stuff was on the radio in 1973. And I mean, that was, and I was like, what, 12, 13, and it was right on there with the Carpenters and John Denver. Peter Reuter, Up His Nose. It's a bunch of ethnic humor on this. Run, Peter. Basketball Jones. Now look at that. Basketball Jones, you might remember. The White World of Sports. By the way, there's a bunch of ethnic humor on here. Cheberneck. There's a bunch of ethnic humor I don't think you could get away with today. The Evelyn Woodhead sped reading course. But if you look down here, Basketball Jones, you might remember, was a song, kind of a hit song. And the White World of Sports was sort of a little pregame show before the guy sang Basketball Jones. But look who plays on that record. Where is it? Right there. George Harrison, Klaus Voormann, Jim Keltner, Carole King, Nicky Hopkins, Tom. You didn't know Cheech and Chong was had an all-star lineup like that. And I, of course, remember my mommy and my daddy tried to teach me how to live. Dun, 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 dun. But I don't listen to them because my head is like a sieve. My basketball coach tried to kick me off the team for wearing high-heeled sneakers and acting like a... I guess you wouldn't say that today, would you? Kind of, you look at so many of these old albums and you think, man, they would never make that today. Look at that, it's a big mess. You know what, though? Those guys were hilarious. You just got to give them that. Whatever you thought about them, they were just flat out bust-a-gut, double over funny. And there they are. And their movies were pretty funny. Every movie got worse, but the first one, and you know, they were all pretty good, but the first one was just flat out hilarious. Right up there with Animal House or Smokey and the Bandit is a great 70s comedy. Well, maybe you got them all right. Big Bamboo, Santa's Old Lady. Man, Santa's Old Lady, that's got a bunch of things in it they wouldn't have on the radio, period. And it was made for kids. You know, they played it on AM radio, like along with the, you know, the Jackson 5, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and the Chipmunks, you know, Christmas, Christmas, Don't Be Late, Santa's Old Lady. Like I said, I almost hate to show the whole album. There it is. I think that's the real thing, too. Definitely not advocating that. Although I'm not advocating the way we are now either, where we're so repressive and heavily policed. But hilarious. Long live Cheech and Chong. Thanks. God bless.